vote for Kamala Harris. And it's actually non-negotiable. Come on. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
Even though I am an actor and being on the spot is quite literally my job, I get very nervous and my palms start to sweat. So we're gonna have to check at the end of the video just how sweaty my palms get.
Weird.
Congrats, babe. Stooped to a whole new level of...
You know what, girls? Not to be a hater, but have you seen the absolute storm Disney walked into when they cast Rachel Zegler as Snow White? I don't think I could ever forget the sheer chaos that decision stirred up. There's nothing I appreciate more than a spicy behind-the-scenes scoop. And this one's loaded. So, Disney thought they were being all progressive by picking a so-called woke actress for their new Snow White. Cute, right? Except they didn't bargain for the mountain of money and endless delays that would come with it. And the kicker? Rachel Zegler's career is practically brand new. Her debut film was only in 2021 with West Side Story. Oh, and if you don't know, girls, even back during the West Side Story promo days, you could already catch glimpses of her being a handful. It's giving early career diva vibes, and trust me, that's a reputation that sticks. Now here's where it gets juicier. This isn't even the peak of her drama. The way things are going, Disney might want to buckle up, because the Rachel Zegler chapter is just getting started.
It just became a conversation about how many different ways there are to be of Latin descent. Do you speak the language? Does it matter?
Does it matter?
Do you eat the food? Does it matter? Where do you come from?
Not to be a hater, but have you seen how Rachel Zegler flipped the script? 1 minute, she's all about imposter syndrome, saying things like, I haven't done any other film projects, but I'm constantly pinching myself, and talking about gratitude like it's her new best friend. But you know what, girls? That act didn't last long. Because if you don't know, girls, the real Rachel showed up soon enough. When it came to the 94th Academy Awards, her true colors came shining through. Picture this. Her movie was up for multiple awards, yet she wasn't even invited to the big night. And instead of keeping it low-key, she went straight to Twitter, firing off replies like it's nobody's business. Someone asked, "Can't wait to see what you'll be wearing to the Oscars." And Rachel, she clapped back with, "I'm not invited. So sweatpants and my boyfriend's flannel." Girls, there's nothing I appreciate more than a little drama. But this was next level celebrity griping. 1 minute she's playing the humble card, the next she's calling out the Oscars with full sass. If that's not a move straight out of the Hollywood playbook of contradictions, I don't know what is. So, what do we learn here? Sometimes, even the starlets with the biggest smiles have the loudest Twitter fingers.
Shut up! Will you shut up? Now we see the violence inherent in the system.
Not to be a hater, but have you seen how it all played out? I don't know, girls. I've tried everything, and I mean everything, but it looks like it's just not happening. You know what? I'll be rooting for West Side Story from my couch, proudly thinking of the blood, sweat, and tears we poured into it 3 years ago. There's nothing I appreciate more than the magic we created back then. If you don't know, girls, I'm still holding out for that last-minute miracle, because who doesn't dream of celebrating their work in person? But sometimes, it's just how the cookie crumbles, and you've got to roll with it. I feel the disappointment, trust me. But hey, thanks for all the shock and outrage. I'm right there with you, feeling every bit of it.
Shut up! Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
Not to be a hater, but have you seen how Rachel Zegler's career moves have stirred up the internet? Let me tell you, there's nothing I appreciate more than a little drama in Hollywood. And Rachel has been delivering. You know what, girls? She caused so much outrage online that she somehow scored an invite, and brace yourselves. Not just any invite. We're talking about Disney's absolute powerhouse pulling strings and her strutting onto the Oscar stage. It's giving main character energy, and I'm here for it. So, picture this. The legendary Disney team and the Snow White producers working their real-life fairy tale magic. And just like that, Rachel's there, living her best life and celebrating her West Side Story fam at the Oscars. Not only did she show up, but she ended up as a presenter. And let's be honest, this was the moment Rachel looked around and thought, oh, I've got power now, and I'm going to make moves. Why? Because she's Disney's new Snow White. Hello, leverage. If you don't know, girls, Rachel wasn't just stopping there. Fresh off that momentum, she decided to come for Sean Bean, all over his comments about intimacy coordinators. And that's not even the peak of it. On the red carpet, while promoting Shazam, Fury of the Gods, when someone had the audacity to ask why she took the role, Rachel kept it real and said, I needed a job.
World of DC heroes. I needed a job. I'm being so serious. I mean, the reality was we were in the middle of a pandemic and I was not working and I couldn't get a job for the life of me because West Side Story hadn't come out yet and it was really hard to book work for me.
You know what, girls? Not to be a hater, but let's talk about Rachel Zegler. And trust me, I'm not a hater like y'all, but there's nothing I appreciate more than a juicy bit of Hollywood tea. So here's the deal. Rachel's recent move set off a wave of controversy that had everyone talking. First, she stirred up a whole lot of side eyes when she confessed she took the role in Shazam, Fury of the Gods, purely because she needed a job. And honestly, I don't think I could ever say that out loud if I was playing a superhero. But you know what? Props to her for the honesty, even if it did ruffle some feathers. But wait, there's more. The real shocker came when Rachel rocked a top with a pretty rude message. Yeah, girls, I'm talking about the kind of top that has you thinking, oh, so we're doing that now? And of course, people were not having it. Now, if you don't know, girls, brace yourselves. Rachel's drama didn't stop there. It was big news when Disney announced she'd be playing Snow White. Yep, Disney had found their princess, and everyone was waiting for her to charm us all. But instead of gushing over the magic of playing such an iconic role, she went on a press tour and, oh boy, she did not deliver the warm and fuzzy vibes you'd expect. Instead of celebrating the classic, she threw some serious shade at the original Snow White movie. You know, the one that started it all.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Girls, let me tell you, I'm not a hater like some of y'all. But when I say the audience completely rejected her, I mean it. Picture this. She straight up admitted to only watching the movie once because it freaked her out. And then, boom, this image drops. Chaos, right? You know what, girls? That was it. Disney had no choice but to scrap everything and go back to square one. And if you don't know, girls, let me break it down. Disney was forced to hit the pause button and delay the whole thing by an entire year. Now, at the time, everyone wanted to blame the actors' strike. Like, sure, that was part of it. But let's be real, the backlash was louder than any excuse they could come up with.
I really do say this so often when it comes to young actors. You usher them towards the light and it will follow them.
I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
I'm not a hater like y'all, but have you heard the whispers going around? Word on the street is that the company behind the upcoming release had a serious change of heart. And honestly, who could blame them? Online sources spilled the tea to the Daily Mail, claiming that the bigwigs were shaking in their boots over the idea of the film becoming a financial disaster. Now, let's be real. The pressure was intense, and not just any kind of pressure. We're talking about the kind that'll have you triple checking your bank account in the middle of the night. The fan base, especially Disney's loyalists, wasn't exactly thrilled about Rachel Zegler stepping into the royal shoes. I mean, If you don't know, girls, let me tell you, they weren't vibing with it. Why? Well, Rachel didn't exactly hide her feelings, did she? Sis made it pretty clear she wasn't a fan of the original. You know what, girls? There's nothing I appreciate more than honesty, but this was next level. She'd go on about how outdated the film was and how it needed a glow up for today's audience. And that's cute and all, but when your leading lady is side-eyeing the whole project, let's just say it's giving corporate panic. So yeah, they pushed back the release date. If I'm being honest, I don't think I could ever understand why they thought moving forward without addressing this drama would work. But here's the gag. It's all part of that Hollywood shuffle, where controversy sells, but at what cost?
It's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see.
I'm not a hater like y'all, but let's talk about this Snow White drama for a minute. Disney's got themselves in a bit of a pickle with this one. You know what, girls? There's nothing I appreciate more than a bit of Hollywood chaos. So, Disney's been forced to delay the release of Snow White. And trust me, it's not because they just wanted more time to sprinkle pixie dust on it. Nope. It's because they've already poured a fortune into this project, and the last thing they need is a box office disaster that could kill off any dreams of future remakes or potential sequels. And if you don't know, girls, this movie has enough behind-the-scenes drama to fuel a reality show. Rumors are swirling about on-set difficulties. Cue the whispers about how challenging some folks found Rachel Zegler to work with. Now, imagine the executives sweating through their tailored suits as they watch the Snow White trailer get slammed with a jaw-dropping 1.3 million dislikes. Yeah, that bad. The backlash got so intense that it spawned headlines warning Disney of the storm they're in. Branding experts, read PR lifesavers, are out here saying that Rachel's reputation could tank Disney's big budget flick. And get this, word is, there are crisis talks happening behind closed doors to figure out how they can get the fans back on their side. One PR expert even spilled to the Daily Mail that Rachel might not be the best choice to front the promotion, even if she is Snow White herself. I don't think I could ever imagine being in those crisis meetings, girls. Disney's scrambling, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If they mess this up, it might just go down as the biggest mistake they've ever made.
A considerable margin, and
Okay, not to be a hater, but let's talk about Rachel Zegler. She's seriously out here trying to rewrite the script and control her narrative, but let's be real, it's kind of backfiring. So, Rachel's been trying to flex this new direction for Snow White, right? But Hollywood, baby, it's messy. They've been in full-blown crisis mode, and get this. Just a year after all the chaos, October 2nd, 2024, they decided to put out this piece in Variety. It was supposed to clean up her image like some PR magic to make her look better, but honey, it just made things worse. Why? Well, because Rachel Zegler can't seem to own up to a single thing. The whole article? It was her trying to paint herself as the victim. She went quiet for months, not saying a word until Donald Trump got elected. Yeah, that's when she decided to tweet something so viral it took over the internet. And then, she had to drop a statement 24 hours later just to save face. Honestly, let's keep it real. This apology, pure PR damage control. You know those aren't her words, right? This is how she really feels. If you've been following her career, her socials, you can see it for yourself. Those staged apologies. Nah, this is the real Rachel Zegler right here, girls.
If you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your business.
Okay, girls, buckle up because Rachel Zegler just dropped an apology and it completely backfired. I mean, I'm not a hater, but have you seen this? Nobody's buying it. Honestly, the way she's handled this is so cringeworthy, it's almost hard to watch. She's become so insufferable that the audience is just straight up rejecting her apology. And you know what? I can't blame them. This apology is not sincere, and it's 100% not even coming from her. In a world where authenticity is literally everything, this is a huge mistake. In case you missed it, we're in the age of YouTubers constantly apologizing for stuff, and it's so easy to tell when it's just a PR stunt. Let's take a look at some of the savage replies, shall we? DBU's like, "You can apologize when you make a mistake, but honey, she's been antagonizing fan bases for years. At this point, it's not a mistake. It's just her personality." And honestly, they're not wrong. Rachel's been throwing shade and stirring the pot for so long, no one believes this is an apology that comes from the heart. And then Steven's over here talking about how hatred and anger have caused us to move further away from peace. And yet, Rachel's like, "I'm gonna be angry and hateful towards half the country in the name of peace." Off, Rachel. This whole thing sounds like Disney told her to apologize, not like something she did on her own. Oh, and let's not forget her role in the Gina Carano situation. You remember that, right? When Gina refused to put her pronouns in her bio and posted boop bop beep instead, Rachel jumped in with a quote tweet saying, "Don't make fun of pronouns. They're validating and cool." Seriously? This is the same woman who has the nerve to act like she's all about validation while publicly dragging someone over their beliefs. And don't even get me started on the fact that Gina was fired for way less than what Rachel's been spewing online. I mean, come on. This apology is as fake as her whole image. People aren't buying it, and honestly, no one is accepting it. It's a written statement straight from Disney's PR team. Too little, too late, and let's face it, way too hypocritical. No sincerity. We all know it was forced. So here's the tea, girls. Rachel went into full damage control mode after telling over 75 million Americans that they should never know peace because of how they voted. Seriously, Disney fired Gina for less than what Rachel's done, and now we're all supposed to forget about it because of this apology? Nah, fam, not happening. Rachel's apology is totally rejected and nobody is accepting it. She doesn't mean it, and we all know it. The fake apology train stops here.
I think I did really, really well, and I think this is like my prize is bragging rights.
Okay, girls, not to be a hater, but Disney's live-action remake is seriously backfiring, and it's not looking good. Rumor has it the production budget is over $200 million, which means this movie needs to rake in at least $400 million to break even. Let's be real. It's probably going to need closer to $500 million or even $600 million just to avoid sinking. And guess what? The bad buzz around this movie has been growing for months. And it's all thanks to Rachel Zegler. Despite all the damage control Disney's been doing, from reshoots to delaying the release for a year, Zegler just can't seem to stop making waves. Like, at this point, I'm pretty sure Disney is counting down the days until this movie hits theaters so they can finally say goodbye to her. The cherry on top? Rachel Zegler apologized, and honestly, the fans were not having it. I mean, they completely rejected her apology. I don't know about you, but if I were Disney, I'd be looking for a new strategy. But hey, that's just my 2 cents. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.